Hello friends and welcome to Figure Study, where we are appreciating the style of Sentai again, because I am a liar. I am such a liar. Back when I did the King Shurikenjin video, I said that that was probably going to be the last of the Sentai toys, and clearly I was mistaken. And yes, in case it was not obvious from the title of the video, today we're looking at DX Gozyujin from Gokaiger, which is, in a shocking twist, a Sentai that I've actually watched. I should clarify though, I have not finished Gokaiger. I'm on like episode 40-something, thereabouts. I just haven't had the time to... Well, no, that's a lie. I'm making excuses. It's a combination of having to find the time and also a weird psychological thing where I started watching Gokaiger when... those of you who follow the channel probably know this already, but I started watching Gokaiger around the time Ash was having medical problems, like severe medical problems, and he passed before I could finish the series, and I have this weird kind of mental connection to it now, so it's like I've kind of been taking my time, because I think a part of me kind of worries that like once I finish watching the series, then that kind of closes the book on all that, and I don't know. It's weird. It's just a weird thing. And probably too much information, not anything that you all are interested in hearing. But yeah, I'm still working my way through Gokaiger, but I actually have the context for this now, which is great. I actually kind of like that. I should probably get used to that a little more, you know, maybe start watching some more Chris McFeely videos on the basics of various Transformer characters so I can have that level of appreciation to go with the toys. I don't know. Yes, I know, this is something that I probably should have considered doing a long time ago, but regardless, Gozyujin is the one and only mecha from Gokaiger that I actually like as a standalone robot. Like, I'm not really into Gokaiyo. I think the look is cool, but like, I'm not really feeling Gokaiyo. I don't really like the gimmick that much. And Makalkin is just a car, unless you have the other mecha to combine them with. So yeah, Gozyujin for me is the sort of standalone star of the trio. And I love how much this toy does. It's an homage to 3 different Sentai. I forget the names of all of them because Gokaiger is the only Sentai that I've really watched to any degree. I know the Goju Drill, the ship, is based off of Time Ranger. And then the Goju Rex, I believe, is based on Zyuranger, which is what Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was based on. I could be wrong on that, though. The only one I know for certain is Time Ranger. And then Gozyujin, the robot mode, is from, I think, Abba Ranger, I think. But yeah, I love the fact that this design not only homages 3 different Sentai from the different modes, but also completely carries its own aesthetic based on Gokaiger. That's a lot to ask one thing to do, but it actually pulls it off really well. Like, the detailing on this is great. The dark blue with the gold and little bits of silver, and like every now and then little hits of light metallic gold. It's such a great color combination. And I like that the gold is predominantly used for the little highlights here and there, because it just pops so well on that dark blue. And I mean, it's a little bit slapdash with some of the modes, like the Goju Drill is like, it's obviously like it's ship shaped, but it's also obviously a folded up dinosaur. But it still works. And I also like that there's I believe that's supposed to be like a little bridge right there, which is pretty cool. And they even have thrusters on the bottoms of the feet, which is great. Tempted to go in there and do some decorating, but if I do any kind of customizing on this guy, it's going to be like slavish, follow the the decoration in the show kind of deal, because I actually have that veneration for the show now, so I'm going to be sticking to that. And yeah, there's not a whole lot for me to say about Goju Drill, because it's, like I said, obviously a folded up dinosaur. And all of this deco is visible in both of the other modes, so I kind of feel like it's time to just move on, and we'll start talking about the other stuff when we get to the other modes. But before I do that, just do a size comparison real quick, and here you can see him with the super disappointing Siege Skytread, which if you've seen my top 10 video for 2018, you know why he's super disappointing, but yeah. And while I don't have any other Gokaiger toys to compare this to, I do have the Turbo Falcon Megazord, which is close enough, I guess. And getting these two in shot is going to be tricky. That kind of works, kind of, sort of. They're almost the same length, almost. Clearly, Gozyujin is, or Goju Drill, I should say, is taller, bulkier, denser, heavier. But overall, this guy, not bad on his own. Obviously, he's been he's been customized quite a bit. I did panel lining, and you can see he's got decals and stuff on him because this thing is sparse if you leave it as is. All right, let's get this guy turned into a T-Rex so that we can talk about some more of this detailing. And here we have Goju Rex. This is fun. I love this thing. It's very, very T-Rex design. Color scheme is still fantastic. The slight hunch is a little bit like, but you know, they got to differentiate it from the humanoid robot mode somehow. And again, you've got that idea of like the homage, but like also pirate themes, which we will see more of that detail in robot mode when things are stood up properly, but like he's got the gold kind of anchor decoration on the shoulders for the Dino mode, and the ever so slightly recognizable Gokaiger logo built into that. Yeah, he's got these nice spines going down the back, along with the big spine that's quite nicely decorated with more like another kind of anchor motif there, and that kind of works into the gimmick for robot mode. And the drill becomes the tail. Would be nice if there was a little more articulation there, but you know, given all that this does and the fact that it's like a kid's toy, it's fine. And that T-Rex head is pretty great. I really like how, because of the gimmick, like this would spin, but like I like how it's designed so that there are these bits here that kind of lock everything in place. So when it's in Rex mode, like it doesn't turn, but once you open it up, that's when it starts doing its thing. The detailing is also very nice. I like that gold and silver with like the silver teeth, that silver stripe going down the center of the head, and the nice metallic blue, again, with that anchor motif. And just a little bit of a sort of Gokaiger logo there. Yeah, Goju Rex is awesome. He's a little bit, they do that thing that kind of bugs me, where he's supposed to be a T-Rex, supposedly, but he's got 3 fingers. That is incorrect. Why do so many toys do that? But it's okay. It is okay. I can save that nitpick for another time. It is just a constant nitpick. Anyway, yeah. Goju Rex, also great. Quite bulky. And also big, like you'd expect. Like, even hunched over, he's got quite a bit of height on the Siege Deluxe there. And Goju Rex is, I want to say, is a little bit shorter than the Turbo Falcon Megazord, but at the same time, I mean, he's hunched over, so it's not quite there, I don't think. But yeah, there you can see how they stack up. And again, worth pointing out, This guy has been modified with stickers and panel lining and stuff, so he actually sort of fits in a little bit better deco-wise with Goju Rex, but that's because of some heavy modification. Also, one of the clips in this engine hand bit broke when I was turning him back into a robot, so I'm a bit miffed about that. Okay, let's get this guy into his robot mode so we can talk about everything else and go over all of those other details that I sort of glossed over. Here we have Gozyujin in his rather striking robot mode. Now, this mode is where you get to see, I mean, you could see this detail in the other modes as well, but like it's really highlighted here where you've got like the gold tridents on the knees, the metallic blue anchor on the chest. This is what really drives the pirate and nautical theme home. And it looks great. And again, I just love how this toy pulls off 3 different homages, plus adheres to that whole like pirate semi-nautical theme, even though they're not actually nautical pirates. The color scheme is also great. Here, of course, you get a lot more silver coming to the forefront. Definitely more red, too. With the fist and the head, you get a lot more red detail. I mean, not like a ton comparatively, but just way more than in the other 2 modes. And yeah, this looks really cool. I dig the obvious asymmetry of the one drill arm and one semi-regular fist arm, but then I also like the slight asymmetry with how the smaller arm that has the fist has those little spines on the shoulder, and whereas the larger arm with the drill does not have that added detail. It's just a cool kind of way to, like, it shifts the balance, where it's like it's imbalanced if you're looking at it from here down on both arms, but then it's also imbalanced if you look at it from here up in like different ways, so it makes both arms uniquely interesting in different ways, both like basically from top to bottom. It's a neat design touch. Now we can look at some of these details up close, and here we've got those enormous dino feet that also are robot feet, and these are fun. I don't know, there's just something about the shape. They just look so large and sturdy. And I mean, they are, but it's nice. I like it. And then, of course, coming down here, you've got those details with the gold tridents, which look really great. And I know these details exist in the US version of the toy, but I really like that they're called out in gold here, as well as the gold on the side of the knee. And this nice blue that kind of goes all the way up, kind of accents that gray. That gold throughout, it looks so good. And the bridge section of the ship is now, obvious joke is obvious. And the almost pinstriping-esque gold that kind of goes up through the blue and into the silver to kind of bring the entire design together. And they're very prominent. Another one of those Gokaiger anchors. The shoulder design is pretty cool too. I like how it kind of juts out and continues that color combination from the chest. And of course, you've got the drill, which we will look at in a little more detail in a minute with what it does. But that is a nice combination of gold and that metallic blue and silver, and it's all good stuff. And then this fist is, of course, the dino head, which you can like partially or fully turn back into a dino head. And we'll just wind this up a little bit for the gimmick, because why not? It's one of those things that I like that you got options with this. I like that you can leave it as a dino head, or if you want to like sort of keep the dino head but like sort of show the fist as well and lock it in place, you can move the lower jaw, or you can open it up entirely to reveal the fist entirely. You got options. It's cool. And while we're at it, might as well, even though I said it'd be later, look at the drill, which is nicely detailed, but also opens up to do the like shield spinny thing from the show, which is okay. And it reveals this kind of spear with more of that nice metallic blue. What I prefer to do is to angle these in and give him the trident, because that just looks cool. I like the trident. And the trident kind of works also in conjunction with like the knee designs and the anchors too. The anchors have kind of like a trident thing going, even though it's definitely an anchor, but like, you know, you've got the 2 points and then the center bit there, so it still kind of evokes a trident. And there are a lot of things that I really appreciate about Gozyujin's head design. You've got the horns that kind of continue that anchor/trident motif. You of course have the anchor on his head as the design there with like the little Gokaiger thing there, but that again evokes sort of a trident look. Still kind of pulls the nautical theme through a little bit. The gray and red, like the gray stands out a bit from the rest of the body in that like there's so much blue and silver and gold throughout that like it actually kind of works that they went simpler with the color scheme and didn't get too crazy with like the silver and the gold. But then you do get that little strip of dark blue going up the center there, which also pops nicely with that red. The face itself, I quite like face-plated bots. And this definitely works. There's kind of an interesting layered effect going with the faceplate as well. There's like lots of little nooks and crannies that you don't really notice at first. And of course, those nice green eyes with the black outline around them that pop pretty nicely. Another thing that I like about Gozyujin's head is something that it's kind of weird to be talking about, I guess, but it's actually a decent size. I know that there are other Sentai Mecha and toys and even Power Rangers toys that have okay head proportions, but with the stuff that I've been getting lately, which I mean, I fully admit is like out of order. It's not in the order that the Sentai ever aired, but it's just so refreshing to have a Sentai mech that has a head that actually looks proportional to its body, more or less. I mean, of course, it's a giant robot toy thing, so some of that stuff isn't going to quite match up, but this head is so much nicer as a proportional thing than a lot of the other Sentai toys that I have. It's a weird thing to be hung up on, but I like it. Oh, actually, before doing the size comparisons, I should probably do the gimmick thing, and in order to do the gimmick thing, I have to turn him around and show off another thing that I really appreciate. His back is actually pretty nice looking. And I really like, I know this has been pointed out by several people at this point, but I really like how the Rex arms are designed so that like when they straighten out, they form this gap right around the big spine on the back, which is actually the thing that enables the gimmick. And yeah, it's cool. it's really well thought out. It's relatively simplistic, but like there's a lot of obvious thought that went into this figure. Anyway, this turns left and right, and I know I'm not usually a gimmick showy offy guy, but I figure why not? I'll show it off this once. I have that fondness for Gozyujin, so I will make that sacrifice for him. So let's give it a turn and... Uh-oh. There we go. And of course, this can be in either the drill or the shield mode to do the spin as well. I just think it's fun. I like that it can do that. I do sort of wish that the spin gimmick on especially this arm could lock in if I didn't want to use it, because it keeps wanting to spin if I bump it, and it's like, I don't necessarily want to use it all that much, but I do understand why they would want to be able to have the toy do the thing that the guy does in the show. And what the heck, let's get all the size comparisons out of the way in one go. Here you can see that when he's standing up properly, even with the Rex head and neck becoming an arm, he's still a little bit taller than the Turbo Falcon Megazord. And now I will admit that, like, between these two, There are definitely some things about each design that differ. Like the metallics are a little bit different, the shades are a little bit different. The overall design, I think, works though. And I mean, yeah, the stickers definitely stand out because this guy doesn't have stickers, it's just paint. All glorious paint. But actually, let me move these real quick. But when you look at them both together, side by side, there we go. If you look at them both side by side, even though this was never in the show, there was no robot mode for Mach-Alkin in the show, and this is the US produced figure for the US line, this is the Japanese produced figure for the Japanese line, so they can't like combine or anything like that, but even so, they still kind of work together. Part of that is, of course, the big Gokaiger logo on the chest there, but still, there are enough elements between the two that kind of bounce back and forth that make it look like they do totally belong together. And I do believe that is enough for Gozyujin. I am so glad I finally got this guy. I've actually kind of been like back and forth on him for a while. Ever since Gokai Silver showed up in the portion of the show that I was watching, I was just kind of like, I think I really want to get Gozyujin. I can't say Guy is my favorite character. There are things I like about all of the Gokaigers, but one of the things I really like about Guy's character just on its own is the fact that he's just this immense dork fanboy for Super Sentai. It's fun. Though I maintain that Luca is the best. But anyway, that is enough rambling about stuff that you're all probably not interested in because I'm here talking about the toy. And realistically speaking, very few of you are probably interested in what I have to say about the toy anyway, because very few people seem to care about the Sentai stuff. But I don't care. I'm doing this because I want to. And I want to because I really like Gozyujin. As I've said a couple of times now, it impresses me to no end the fact that he homages 3 different Sentai in addition to carrying the kind of overall Gokaiger look. It's really cool. I kind of wish that more Sentai mecha did something like that. But that's enough about what I think of Gozyujin. What do you all think? Have any of you out there watched Gokaiger at all? Because if you haven't, I highly recommend it. If you have, what's your favorite mecha? Who's your favorite character? It's there's a lot to talk about with Gokaiger, I feel. Whatever your thoughts, feel free to chime in down below. I always enjoy hearing from you all. And while you're at it, also feel free to like or subscribe. Any of those things would make me a happy Rob. And remember, art is more than meets the eye.